Oh, there we go.
Guys, how are you doing? We are back live with another session of DMV Dealmakers. I'm Josh Cohen. That's John Ma.
What's up, guys?
That's Robert Wensley.
What's up, guys?
And tonight we're bringing you a special treat. His name is Attila Shalorus, otherwise known as the Prince of Persia. He was a professional MMA fighter. He's been everything from a British Olympian to an incredible MMA fighter. You've seen him in the ring with Kabib. And today he is a fantastic, phenomenal real estate developer here in Northern Virginia, based out of Vienna, Virginia. Attila. Oh, man, we just... Attila, thanks for joining us on the show tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys.
I know I've missed a lot of things about you. Can you briefly give us an introduction about, all about yourself, who you are, what you've done for those who don't know you?
I'm born in North Iran, Azerbaijan, and my family, I grew up with actually, my father was a wrestler, my brother, and I continued to become at a young age 16. I moved to United Kingdom and carry on, go to school and compete as a wrestler, almost 9-10 years, and start learning mixed martial arts, and came United States, Austin, Texas, and start doing mixed martial art, and end up in WEC and UFC and ONE FC, and almost 7 years I started to do developing, and I love developing, and become a general contractor and developer and investor in DC, Virginia area.
Wow. Attila, I remember your fight against Kabib. I think I saw you on TV when you had that fight. That was like,
yes,
is that 10 years? Is it like 8 or 9 years ago now, or how long ago was that?
Yeah, almost 10 years, something like that.
Wow.
8 years. I think.
Wow. And so you're like super famous,
Yeah,
man.
it was a great night. Khabib, he's a legend, and we had a good fight, and I did very good. But that night, it was his night, and I got his uppercut. So that was an amazing fight. Good experience.
Man, you were a beast in that fight. You really were. You did good. So how does someone with your background get into real estate? How did that transition happen?
Yeah, so in back of my mind is always, I say, fighting is not going to stay forever with me. Age is the beach, will catch you. And always I try to learn some skill. I'm not the guy working, in the office. Be honest, in my life, I worked one time in coffee shop in 2 hours a day. I cannot go back to work in coffee shop. I have to learn something, and I start study some of the construction, get all the books while I'm fighting, educate myself about construction, educate myself about the rules and regulation, and almost in 3 years, I get my license, and I learn a lot about the regulation and rules and code. And 2012, after my last fight in UFC, and I create my Maple Construction LLC, become general contractor first, and then I had some saving from fighting, and I invest.
Attila, you there?
We lost your audio there for a second.
Yeah, we lost you for a second, but it sounded like so you started your general contracting company back in 2012, and I guess at some point you transitioned into purchasing deals. Attila, you there? Oh man, he's frozen too.
Oh no.
No, I wonder if he's on mobile. Maybe he needs to connect to Wi-Fi.
He's on mobile.
I am not. In fact, I hear you guys. I'm not in the mode.
Spinning wheel.
Spinning wheel death.
No.
Sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Are you connected to Wi-Fi, Attila?
Yes, I am. In fact, so Sorry, guys. I can try again if you want to.
We'll just roll with it. I think it's fine.
Let's roll with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, so I start to get the course and become a A-level contractor and start understanding some of the investment in real estate. And I had a few friends. I asked them to let me work with you guys, but don't pay me. Let me help you. They are good developers. And then say, sure, we love to. And then those guys, they open the door for me. I start helping them for no money because I want to learn. And I learn the skill. Knowledge is power. I learn and I become investor. And then I so many time in fall to Vienna area. I built a home and I sold. And I find out DC area is so difficult to develop and find a house and build, so much regulation. And my background is coming from wrestling, from fighting. And I like difficulty because more difficult, less people compete against you. And I went to DC and start building multi-units, single family, and building for other people. God thanks, I'm doing very well.
And you always got paid on time, right?
Always get on time. Sometimes they call me, come and get your money. I say, there's enough time. Be honest.
John.
Yes, always. I do right. I do a good job. And then after my any project, I become good friend with my most of customers. And the reputation is most important. For me to do the job right is most important. I'm not thinking mostly to more profit. I'm thinking do the right, get the brand, have a good name there. And that helped me, reputation helped me a lot.
That's a really big transition, learning construction on your own, on your very own. I know for a lot of people, I mean, they struggle for years, and to be honest, they kind of get into it and sometimes give up. And oftentimes they don't jump into the whole general contracting route either. Oftentimes they get into, these real estate seminars that, charge, X amount to, learn their programs or whatever. And, I just think it's really interesting that you kind of went on the deep end and just got your general contracting license and essentially started as to what do you call it? You looked for a mentor essentially, right? You looked for a mentor, someone who's already in the business, and you offered your services for absolutely free. Was that right? If I heard you correctly? Uh-oh. Attila, are you there? Oh, we see some movement.
You're back.
He's back.
Okay,
you there?
Sorry. Yeah. I apologize, guys. Maybe because of the rain.
Yeah. Did you
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think the picture's a little bit there's a little bit of lag where it's not synced. The voice in the video is not synced.
Okay. Well, what I could do you want me redo again, come back one more time? Maybe I go to first floor. I have a better internet.
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know if you have a computer with a camera. Maybe we could try that.
Yeah. Okay, so just give me guys 2 minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll talk about. We'll take a commercial break.
Okay.
Cool. How many guys do you know that started their business just by getting a general contracting license and just kind of going on the deep end like that?
That is not the norm. That's not the normal path that I've seen.
Josh, how did you do it? What was your path?
Honestly, I started as sort of a rehabber. Realized I was in over my head, went back into wholesaling. And then sort of shortly into wholesaling, I started to watch what other people were doing on the rehabs. And then sort of in the middle of all that, I ended up getting a mentor who was like a legitimate builder who did residential commercial for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And it was sort of from that mentorship that, we became a legitimate builder ourselves.
Who was that?
Terry Ham, man. Terry Ham, you out there tonight? Terry is 81 years old. And
oh, wow.
Nice and retired in Central PA. He's probably cussing at me right now, but
So was he someone that was local, or was he out in PA at
He
the
was
time?
Terry was local. Terry built for the Army Corps Engineers. He was a serious builder. I think if you want to learn how to build, you got to learn from someone who's done a lot of different projects. There's so much to learn in the building industry. That's what I think.
Yeah, if you're getting contracts from the Army Corps of Engineers, I mean, you're pretty serious. You're doing things very properly, very
For sure.
properly. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, John, can you hear me better here?
I think it's better.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you now.
It's a lot better.
Okay, awesome. I came to first floor.
Attila,
Yes,
so we heard you say like you figured out how to be a GC for like multifamily units in DC when you were starting.
Yeah, it was very big step for me. First, I started learning. I get my A-level license, A-level license in Virginia, and a lot of exam, a lot of study. I understood, and then I start getting DC license pretty easier. And I have a few developer friends. I used to just go all the time, stay his job site, ask him question, communicate with his engineer, architect, project manager, all the suppliers he had, and educate myself. And especially, I will ask him, when you have inspector coming, please introduce me to your inspector. And I go right away to inspector, say, hey, I'm gonna ask you so much question. I used to be fighter, and I want to learn this job right. And be honest, most of the inspector, they like it. They say, wow, you used to be fighter, sure. And I become friend, and I learn all the regulation. And I say, I want to learn right way. And you guys, inspector, and those guys say, okay, go read this kind of book, this, take online, this kind of course. Those will help you, and helped me a lot.
Wow.
Attila, did someone coach you to talk to the inspectors like that? Because I mean, inspectors, I know now, being in this business for a while, the inspectors love what you just said, but almost nobody does it. Did someone tell you to like go and take that approach, or where did it come from?
No, I just from my gut, I just go approach myself. Stay from the inspector. They are sometimes they're mean. But, I just say, hey, I want to do right. I want to learn from you guys. And especially, I find one of my friend, his high school teacher, English is my second language.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, sometimes difficult to understand. Even I asked my high school coach teacher's friend, they used to teach me English and mathematics in high school after hours. I go there, train with them, and then they 101, they teach me some of those stuff. Those are help me try to improve my English and my mathematics.
Wow, such great. And Attila, I got to ask you this because actually my wife is Persian. Her whole family moved from Iran to the United States, I think in like 78 or 79, right after the revolution. How long have you been in the U.S. and what made you decide to move to the U.S. versus any other country out there?
Well, I met my ex-girlfriend in London.
Yeah.
And she's from Austin, Texas.
Wow.
And I came to Austin for vacation for 1 week, and I meet up Phil Cadella, Rilson Gracie, black belt jiu-jitsu coach.
Wow.
And I met them. I went to train, and I loved them. I said, this is a nice place. And then I came back again to stay for another month in United States.
Yeah.
And third time, my girlfriend say, how about you stay and apply for visa? I say, sure. I just went to San Antonio and made a meeting with the immigrant officer. Say, I want to stay United States. Say, who you are? I said, well, I am wrestler. I have a FILA passport, and I want to stay. What can I do? And he said, give me your passport. I had British passport. And he stamped indefinite visa in my passport. He said, we love wrestlers. So lucky. And then after 1 month, I received my green card. I stay United States.
Oh.
I have I also had, my wife pulled me down to the U.S. I was in Canada before, but it took me 4 years to get my U.S. citizenship.
I get so fast.
Yeah, you got so fast because I mean you're pretty much a celebrity, right? Now, prior to the US, so you actually competed on the British Olympic team. Is that correct?
Yes, I did almost 9 years.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
And then after that, you came to the US and you started competing with the UFC.
Yes, when I came to Austin, Texas, I started 3 local fights, King of Combat and Supreme Challenge and some other combat. And I won first all of the fight. I fought for title. No experience. I say I want to fight for title, and I won my fight. And after that, I received a contract from WEC.
Wow.
After 3 fights, and start fighting in WEC. And after 4 fights in WEC, I joined to UFC.
Wow.
Oh. Yes.
Watching some of your fights on YouTube before this, I was so impressed. I was like, I did a little bit of judo and jiu-jitsu when I was younger. I was like, wow, this is like the skill you have. I mean, it takes years and years. I'm curious, when you transitioned from UFC to construction, were there things that you like? It's completely different, right? On one side you have fighting, and on the other side you have construction, right? But were there things that you learned as a fighter, with all those years of training as an Olympic athlete, that have helped you in construction and with renovating? What are those things?
Yeah, of course. Some people, they look at the fight just fighting.
Yeah.
But behind that goes so far, so much discipline, so much respect, make you so open-minded. We learn from each other in mixed martial art. And that helped me and drive me to learn about the construction, about the developing. I was so open-minded and my mind was so young. I was absorbing anything I see around the construction. And that was my goal, become good developer, like competing. I say I have to be good developer.
Yeah.
And also the discipline we have in a sport that help us. We don't know meaning of give up. If it's something's difficult, meaning we get this much closer. So always I had so much difficulty in my life in construction, but I never shy from the problem. I stood in front of the problem.
Yeah.
Of course, It's not easy, but you have to, more discipline and stay there, hard working and do the great working. The most success, do the right, do the better.
Absolutely. And it sounds like that philosophy is kind of carried over in your construction. I noticed one of the things you said a couple of minutes ago is like, you care more about having a great product than necessarily making, the maximum amount of money you can. You just want to build your reputation, do things right. It sounds like that kind of mentality probably carried over from your years fighting as an Olympian and then as a UFC Ultimate Fighter.
Absolutely.
Wow. Very cool. And then what made you want to get into development? Like when you were a fighter, I mean, there's 1,000 different things you could have done. What was it about construction development that attracted you and made you want to jump into the real estate game?
The first things, I love demolishing, so I like to get the hammer and demo everything. So, well, this is making me so relaxed. I should do this more. Just kidding. I was living in Santa Monica, California, training with Anthony Hordong.
Yeah.
Me, Ronda Rousey, Jared, Vladimir, many other fighters, and Alchemist was my manager.
Yeah.
So, but I searched real estate and I saw Washington D.C. is real estate is booming. It's amazing.
Right.
So many government jobs. Everybody moving there. Everybody have a good salary, and I thought, say, if I want to do something, I have to start there because capital is good. And I came to Virginia, and right away, as soon as I came, I started what I had in my checklist and started make the maple construction, get the license, and start for developing. And hopefully, not far soon, in next 2 years, I'm going to build maybe 40 unit, 50 unit, who knows?
Wow.
It's still moving on.
Yeah. Wow. So that's incredible. So you actually moved to DC specifically because it was a really strong real estate market.
Of course. Yes. I moved DC because of the real estate market.
What are some other markets you were potentially thinking about at the time?
That time I was thinking do this some business like export import. I find that so difficult, so many strange regulation I really didn't understand. And we have a farm, my family, we have a big farm, organic farm. I try to expand our family farm and do some organic stuff sent to different countries, to Spain, to Turkey. And I did few time traveling, find the people, but it was so difficult because you have to rely on other people.
Supply chain.
Yeah, and
So many
I couldn't.
variables.
Yeah, it was so difficult for me. And then my second option was to be developing, because all of my life I travel everywhere, and I try to be staying that route and do still traveling, making money. But I changed it. I say, okay, I have to do developing mostly easy, and I can be stable.
Attila, what do you see as the biggest challenges in the building industry? I mean, building tends to have a lot of moving parts. A lot of people never really figure it out. What do you see as the biggest challenges, and sort of how have you overcome them?
The biggest challenge here, the first things to build is so easy. We can build easy, but the hardest part, you have a good architect team, you have a good permit expediter, you get on time your permitting, and because carry costs and those stuff is so expensive, sometimes take us in DC 1 year to get the permit if everything is right. And that's the most challenging part, ECRA. But if you have a great team, good architect, good permit expediter, and good lawyer, and I'm talking about the bigger project, you're changing zoning, make a 1 lot, 3 lot, build a 5, 6, 10 unit, that kind of stuff. That's my next step. That's the only challenging part.
I got you.
But to create the money, to create, bring the investor or working with the bank is easy part, because when you have a good reputation and people, they see your product, they trust you and they come invest with you. And I'm working with Washington Capital Partner, good bank. Any project I have, they give me loan right away, and they have amazing service, very professional. I am happy working with them. And there's a more other bank they offering me too. So hopefully I'm going to extend my business, do it a little bit more bigger. But at the moment, waiting for market, what's going to happen.
How is your building business structured? You're the GC, but do you subcontract most of the stuff out? Do you have some in-staff guys, or how are you
Yes.
building?
That's an amazing question. What I do, I have Maple Development USA, and I have Maple Construction. So each project I buy from different LLC name, and then from that LLC, subcontract the construction to Maple Construction. Basically, I want to divide every expense of what's happening. It's so easy, very simple. And then Maple Construction doing the job, giving the insurance, all the responsibility I have. I don't want all of my project connect to each other like a chain. So everything's be separate, because some of my projects, some people, they come invest and they become my partner. I don't want to involve my personal business or my personal other home. Everything is like separate. So Maple Construction is a GC, and Maple Development, finding the land, buying the land. And sometimes if I have different investors, I put a different name, like I have Roxborough LLC, I have a different partner. I have 2131 LLC, different partner.
Right. So you're separating acquisitions from the holding from the actual construction process.
Yes.
What about Maple Construction? Is that a company where you have in-house workers that you're paying, or are they all subcontracted crews out there?
Yes, I have in-house workers. Almost some of them, they're working 7 years for me. So loyal.
Wow. Okay.
And we are like a soccer team, very good team. And if any project start, we know what we have to do. My framer, they know what to do. My demo guy, my plumber. Only I don't have in-house HVAC. I have in-house good electrician. I have in-house good plumber, and in-house good concrete team. That's make me better and faster.
Right. So you have enough deals at the moment to keep all of them busy, or are they?
Yes. Normally, always I have 5, 6 projects, Uh, I have maybe 4 projects, and then also I build for other people too. So, try to keep them busy as much as I could.
Right. Okay.
Attila, oh, sorry, go ahead, John.
I was just gonna ask, do you prefer to be doing your own deals, or you prefer working for a client and just doing a job for another investor?
Of course, I prefer work myself, easier. Working for client is so difficult. You have to have a very good contract, but and also sometimes if working with clients, you have to be careful that don't involve in finished part, because always that's create the problem. Always I tell them, I will do all the labor, all the work, I rough material, finish, come to paint, and then light fixture, appliance, flooring, you pick, we will install for you, and labor, we will do that, and we will give you warranty. And that's create less problem, of course. I like work for clients.
Gotcha. So you leave the finishes for them to finish up, essentially.
Exactly.
That's
Well,
smart.
we
That's a pretty good
finish,
idea.
but they bring in what they want. So if they say, I
Yeah.
don't like this flooring, and say, well, you have it.
That's pretty smart. Yeah.
Attila, I was going to ask you, you've been doing this for a while. You mentioned some of the things that you think are really key to being successful in the development game in DC, having good permit expediters, having good teams, all of that. Now, obviously, you probably learned all of this over a period of years. Can you tell us about times where things went bad or lessons you've learned over the last few years that you could share with the group to help all of us that aren't as pro as you or Josh with construction, to help us avoid some of those mistakes? Do you have any stories you can share?
Yes. The mistake, never try to find a good architect. Don't try to save the money in architect.
Okay.
Say find someone is cheaper and then go for it. That can miss, because everything is start from the drawing.
Yeah.
To building good or building bad. Good architect gonna make your life much easier. And try to find a better architect team first, and good permit expediter, and
Yeah.
be top of all of those stuff. That's the
Attila, that is great advice. I see so many investors cut corners on the architect. They think that that's where they're going to save money,
yes.
and
No,
it just crushes their projects at the end.
of course,
Could you give advice on like how folks should look for a good architect? What should they look for? How can they vet someone to determine whether they're good or not? Do you have any tips on that?
Yes. Normally, when you're signing the deal with architect, they give you some contract. You sign it, they start to work.
Mm-hmm.
You create good contract, give it to him, they sign it. Say, by this time, you have to respond the comment on time, and then my job is priority. I will give you extra. I will be your priority customer.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, they sign your contract, and you sign his contract. You have a 2 contract, basically. What they give you, they say, okay, you have to pay me on time. When I do 50% final, that's it. No, most of the jobs start when they submit in DCRA, because so many comments come after. So he have to responsible to respond to those comments on time, and that takes time. That's you need a good architect.
So could you give us like sort of what kind of draw schedule would you advise someone to use? Like you're trying to get a permit issued by DCRA. Let's say the project was $10,000. What kind of checkpoints or draws would you give someone, or would you advise someone to use?
Normally, I advise give them 30% for a start, and when they submit to DCRA, another 20%. The last 50% when you receive the building permit.
Gotcha. I think that's excellent. That's excellent advice.
Yeah, always I do that. So last 50%, when they say we complete the job, we need more money, say no, your deal is deal. Pay them a little bit extra. I mean, if you're other contractor, other architect, they charging, we say one project, 15,000. You say I am agree. I give you $3,000 extra, but my payment schedule is this. I will give you 30%, and another 20% when you submit, 50%. That 3,000 extra, make them they accept that payment.
Yeah.
If you don't give them extra, they won't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Super smart. So you're basically making sure that their incentives are aligned with yours, right? Because if you give them all the money up front, like they're not really incentivized to go get you those permits. And that's really all you care about is like getting those permits and getting ready to build. So that's super smart, super insightful tip there.
I think that draw schedule is excellent, honestly. Unfortunately, most folks in our region, they don't follow those draws and they get burned right out of the gate. I mean, Attila, you know that, I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, they pay too much money up front, they don't get the permit. Next thing you know, they got nothing to show for it. So
yeah, architect, they take so many jobs and then they keep taking money. They say, hey, we have a business too. We have to make money too. Some of them, they told me before. I said, but I need you to respond my comment and say, well, I have some other customers, they pay more better. So you be the customer, pay them better. Let them do the job done better.
Yeah.
So do you run your projects the same way? Because I know like as a builder developer, like timing and scheduling is everything. Like if you're supposed to finish in 3 months and suddenly it takes a year or 6 months, you just crushed your profit margins. So do you run your schedule sort of similarly? Do you incentivize your folks to finish like, you know, if you're done with framings in 2 weeks, like you're getting a special bonus or something, or?
Yes, normally I pay my crew better than other people because they never leave you. If you try to save the money try to cut the worker money, you are not going to go nowhere because you need a good crew. Always they listen to you, good team. You pay them let's start from simple stuff. Simple, like we say, my excavator for some people they do by hand. Regularly in DC, they pay $150, we say, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I pay my crew $200. I pay $50 extra, and then $10 I pay lunch. I pay $60 extra. And so what happened? He don't want to lose his job because I'm paying best, and he going to make me happy. He working so good. In fact, he more better than everyone. If I try to give them less, they're going to work less, and then you're going to lose them. And then you have to run to find a new contractor, new people, and that's going to be almost impossible. If you have a good team, you pay them good, they will bring you money. They will make your job better. Mm-hmm. Sometimes even I don't need to go to my job site. They know what they do. I train them, and they are so loyal in material, in time, everything. So you don't lose anything.
That's super smart. And if you think about it, you're probably going to end up saving money at the end of the project because when you're doing multi-million-dollar projects, I mean, just your cost of capital, your holding costs are tremendous. And if you have guys that are working diligently, getting everything done on time, doing it right the first time, I mean, you might pay, $10 for lunch and an extra $50 here. But in the grand scheme of things, when you're playing with so much money, you're probably going to end up money ahead. And then also the peace of mind, right? Like I imagine with good people, you have a lot more peace of mind. You know that, hey, if I need to go on vacation for a week, you can do that, right?
Yes, I had this conversation with one of my developers. He's very successful. I'm not bringing his name. He disagreed with me. And then after 1 year, he completely agreed with me. He say, I wish I should have listened to you. And then he saw all my crew still there and they working so hard. I said, how you crew? Did you hypnotize them? They working so well. I said, no, I just give them a little bit more money. That's it.
Yeah.
Attila, I 100% agree with you. And I get pushback all the time myself. Like guys tell me that, Josh, you pay too much for those guys. Why are you paying this much for that guy? I'm like, because they do better quality work and they get it done faster.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. You have to pay. I mean, not to pay too much to burn yourself. Pay them. Make them their money too. They grow with you. They have to grow. You cannot let them. If you have some guy, they're working for me long time. I want to see them. They grow too. I want to see them. They have more money in life too. It's not just only one person. We are team. Has to be teamwork. Everybody grow a little bit. Each project. They know if they do better, they're gonna make more money. They know. I train them. They know.
Is this something that you learned from being burned in a bad deal before? Or is this something you learned back when you were an athlete and training in a team environment? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, so in team environment, exactly, good question. When we have a fight, we have a friend, we always help each other. Because I know if I don't help him, he's not going to help in my fight. So sometimes I sacrifice, but I know that's the investment for my next 6 months fight. I'm going to fight with the beast. So these guys, they're going to come train and help me to save that situation. And I know my team, if I tell them, hey guys, I have no money for 3 weeks, I need your help, I know they will work for me. I know that. Even sometimes if I have some difficulty, I can respond the phone. They go buy the material, they pay, and they give me a receipt. Other people, they won't do that because they don't trust the contractor, general contractor. Most of them has been burned. People, they don't pay them money. They work hard and they scare. You have to pay them 50%, and then they start your work. Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, they take your money and they go. So that's, you have to build a trust.
Yeah.
Trust, the most powerful things you build with your crew, with your subcontractor, with your team. If you have a trust between each other, everything's running smoothly. I tell them, come start the work without deposit. They starting the work. And then I don't have to be worried. I have to pay 50, he have to run away. They know I'm always paying. So that's, I build up good credit there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I really like your thought process on this. I have to ask you one question though. So by bringing it in-house, because I get this question as well, and I want to know what you think about this. Do you save money on the construction by bringing it in-house, or is it mostly quality control and schedule control?
Schedule control first, and then quality control, because when you sometimes you subcontract, they want to do the fast and go. And because I control them and make it faster, and cost is low, and everything is low.
You do save money on the cost as well.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
If you had a percentage, like, could you estimate what ballpark percent you think you save in-house?
Yes, like one time I tried to subcontract one of my underpinning excavation, and they gave me estimate almost 145,000.
Oh wow!
They say contingency in case this, if we need a sheeting shoring. And do you know how much I finished myself?
Maybe half that.
Yeah, $85,000. And then I finished so fast and smoothly. And they told me they're going to start maybe next 4 weeks. But I start with my team right away. Yeah. So I saved their money, I saved the time, and I mean, it's amazing. So in that comes the same conversation. I pay my crew good money and I trust them. I don't have to micromanagement. I don't have to be there, tell them. I know they're going to work. I don't need a security camera. That trust is so powerful. So you build with your team.
I got you. So you're getting all three. You're saving costs, you're getting better quality, and you're getting better scheduling.
Exactly. When I go to my job site, my crew, they are so happy to see me. Some of the crew, if you're not good with them, when you go to the job site, they say, oh, when he going to leave? Yeah. Honestly, they're happy to see me. And then we talk, we joke. They know I'm fighter. And some of them, they start trying to box with me. I say, okay, you win.
So building that great synergy, that's great. It's funny you mentioned earlier about building trust and not having to have a security camera. I've heard of some investors out there literally installing a security camera at every single one of their properties. And it's not just to deter thieves, but it's to watch to see whether their crews are showing up or not, which is, probably not a good way of approaching it if you don't trust your own guys, right?
Exactly. Like in relationship, you have a good trust, your relationship is so beautiful. If you don't have no trust, everything's applies in. Trust is good. Build the trust with your crew.
Great feedback.
So I heard you say like you want to do 50 units or 100 units next year. A lot of residential investors want to go from residential building to commercial building. What do you think the big challenge is there? Like, what's the hurdle and how do you, I mean, you're a professional athlete, so I'm kind of curious, like, what do you think the preparation is that you need to do to get to that 50 unit or 100 unit building?
You have to understand all the zoning. You must have a very good accounting team, very good lawyers, your team. And I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I already hired lawyer in my team. I have a good accounting, and I started to partner up with some of the people. They do the government contracting, and I become good friend with them. We start learning, and then they start educating me. And it's coming now. I'm in education for that part. Hopefully, next 18 months, 2 years, everything's going to be switched. I'm learning that part now.
So from like an experienced developer, or like who does someone like, who would someone learn from, do you think? Like who are you getting mentored by?
Find I normally I stay around the people. What I do, if I used to do the athlete, I stay around the people that are professional athlete, not to stay around the people that are late night guy, drinking guy, because that gonna affect me. So
Right.
always I stay around the people when I see they're developer, and then I become friend. I be that community, and I build a good friendship. And from there, somebody has to open a door for you. Somebody has to guide you and be your mentor. So teach you. And I have a few friends, God thanks, and that's really, they are helping me. I will be there soon. I'm educating, especially one of my friend. He's the big developer in Austin, Texas. He built probably 3,000 homes.
Wow.
2000 home, and he used to fight too. He fought in Bellator.
Cool.
And
Wow.
his study, I didn't ask him. I don't know, I should tell his name. So I will. He is so successful. He fly me to Austin, Texas, and he show his office, and he told me what he do. Matter of fact, I'm starting investing in Austin, Texas too. And he say, look, I am your back office. Anything you need. So good friend, so I'm learning from him.
Wow.
Yes.
That's excellent advice. Excellent.
Attila, it seems like there's a lot of pro athletes that end up transitioning into real estate afterwards. Like I've heard of multiple UFC fighters. You look at the NFL guys, the NHL guys, the NBA guys. It seems like everyone goes through this phase of they start off in sports and then transition into real estate afterwards. Do you find that that's a common theme with your friends from the UFC?
Well, be honest, yes, but no too. Some of the, unfortunately, when you become a professional fighter and you just fight, you get beat up like a racing horse. After you're done, they put you some farm you don't know. You have to be you just to be just guy, do the 101, teach the. If you are too smart, you're gonna open your own gym. That's it. You are just gonna survive.
Right.
Is that, unfortunately, most of my friend is that way.
Yeah.
You have to yourself have some desire, say you have to do something better. Be honest, always back of my mind, I loved fighting because of the amazing mixed martial art is amazing. You learn so much. You learn culture. You learn respect. You accept every other culture. So I learn, and then I say, okay, I have to do something to please me. I need to do something more important for society, for other people. I become good developer. I like to build, like old Greek fighter Arte. They used to go, they build the city and then teach them, bring a good water, bring him good health to town, and then they move to another city.
Wow.
Same way.
Wow. I got to ask you one question. This is completely non-real estate related, but I've always wondered. I actually used to fight at George St. Pierre's gym in Montreal. Did a little bit of jiu-jitsu there. And I always wondered, can you tell us, what does it feel like to step in the ring in the UFC? And like, what does that feel like?
It's a so amazing feeling. We all have that feeling, that device. So human, we are so strong. So imagine you're in the locker room, sitting, and you're hearing people. Honestly, sometimes, you're feeling the stadium shaking. And we are blue corner and red corner. So we have 7-8 fighter here and 7-8 fighter other corner. Like I'm number 5, we say 7. Number 5, 3 go, come back with a broken arm or broken nose, bleeding. So okay, who's next? Like slaughter, like gladiator. So we say number 6 go, He come back, he's happy. Other guy come back with the broken leg, and now you
Your
you
turn.
get nervous, you're scared. But that time is the mental game come. You say, look, I born for this. I train. You stay more calm. You walk in tunnel of the people. You go inside the octagon. You're so confused. As soon the ring start, everything's become slower. You don't hear anything.
Yeah.
You become different creature, different animal. Things come a little bit slower, honestly. It's so
Yeah.
amazing feeling. Amazing. I mean, you go to different room, different. I never experienced a regular fight, a regular life. I experienced when I'm fighting.
Yeah.
You become so strong. It's amazing. You should fight one time. You will experience.
I'll have to try. I gotta go get out my old.
Robert,
Fight
I'm not paying to see you fight, Robert.
The skill level to be a professional or even just a competitive fighter is just it's so high. I did a little bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think I mentioned it before with I took it over with the one in Tyson's corner. But I stopped because I realized the type of dedication it took from a beginner's phase. My class was just once or twice a week. I just knew that wasn't going to work. You can't learn a martial arts doing it once or twice a week, an hour, each session. It has to be something that's literally every single day. I mean, if you put that into contrast of what a professional fighter is doing, I mean, they have to have been training every single day for years and years. And it's not just training to train, but you have to train methodically. You have to know what you're working on, like the strategy behind it. So there's just so many stars that align just to even get you to that level. Is just, I'm always really fascinated when it comes to, not just professional athletes, but just anyone that's competitive and, especially a sport like fighting where it's kind of considered a solo sport, because you're not in a team environment, so to speak. But I'm sure you work with different coaches and stuff. But I'm kind of curious, what kind of mental or mindset coaches have you had over the years? I guess maybe from your years in fighting that might have carried over.
Yes, the coaches are so important, very important. The coaches, they really, one of my interview in Dubai, they asked me, who's your hero? I say, my heroes are my coaches. Really, they train harder than you. They wake up early morning, they run with you, they train with you so much. They do even more. And you must, your coaches, like the most, you trust them so good. Is amazing feeling. You between that many people, they screaming in the fight, but you recognize your coach's voice. You listen to that single voice. So many people screaming, but your coach voice is there, guide you. You hear him. Of course, the fighting is so much diplomacy, so much discipline, and you have to be so smart. You have to have a plan. You have to same things you do in the business. If you want to be a good fighter, good student, you have to understand your body. You have to understand the time management. You have to understand eating healthy. So much education behind that. Otherwise, you will be just regular street fighter.
Wow, great advice.
Guys, we're here with the Prince of Persia, Mr. Attila Shalorus himself. I can just tell Attila that you study the game, you study real estate, whatever it is you do, you put your mind to. It sounds like you just go all in and study. I can just tell from the way you speak and how you process things. If you're out there tonight, if you got a question for Attila, please post it up on Facebook or YouTube. We'll try to get it answered. Attila, I do have a question for you. So what does your typical day look like? What do you do on a daily basis?
I wake up 6:15 a.m. I go train, come back, take a good shower, have a coffee, and then I go to my job site, check my job site if I have a 2, 3, 4, each of them, and give them the list what they have to do, and then come back to my office in Arlington, do my all the inventory, write what I have to expend and stuff. And 5 o'clock, I stop again, go back to my gym. I have a mixed martial arts gym in Arlington, district martial arts. Teach mixed martial art to my student and train with them.
Oh wow!
This is Monday to Friday.
You have
And
your own
Saturday-
gym in Arlington?
Yes.
What's the
I
name of your gym?
District Martial Arts.
District Martial Arts?
It's in Boston, right?
Yes, Boston. Yeah, you
Oh,
guys
wow.
welcome. You should come by.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Can we have a DMV Dealmaker fight?
Of course, we can. Honestly, we should make it.
You
That's
and I are going to judge John fighting Robert.
I would love to see that. I will pay for that fight.
I love
Oh
it.
man.
I'm going to bring some popcorn.
I gotta get rid of this first. I got my 20 pounds of cushion.
So you teach out of that gym as well then?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wow.
Because give me break between developing and is amazing break, amazing balance. For me, I love this lifestyle. Teaching, and I go to two environment. I love it. When I go to teach, I really love it. That's the passion for me. I want to pass my skill to some other people, and I do my best as much as I could.
Really cool.
I do mostly long running. I organize my thought when I'm run. Most look like I'm doing meditation. Always I run. Lately, in this pandemic time, I run every day. And make me disciplined. I organize my thought, make a decision what I have to do. Any difficult decision I have, I fix it in long running.
Smart.
Yeah.
I'm curious with your gym. Are you the ones teaching, or do you have other instructors?
Yes, I have. We have a structure, and we are 4 partners. We are 4.
Gotcha.
Those very good team. And we used to train together, and then we end up saying, we are training every day. Why we don't open our gym? And we open, and we are very successful, and we have very good team. One day I will invite you guys, come by and enjoy.
Yeah, I might check it out this weekend. Part of the reason why I stopped going to the one in Tyson's with the Abmar was the commute. It was just, I didn't want to spend an hour going back and forth. I don't want to waste an hour doing that,
Yeah.
You need
a gym closer to you.
Yeah. It's walking distance to me, so I might even come check it out this weekend.
Yeah, you're welcome. We are opening July 1st, and then because of this pandemic, you're welcome. Keep in touch with me.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I got to ask you, which is more challenging, real estate or martial arts? Or both?
Martial arts has become like I'm driving the car. I don't need to think about it.
There's only so many motions a person can make, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know all the options that are coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Be careful, Josh. When you're next to me, don't throw the fast punch. Automatically, I'm going to punch you back. I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
No, I have a control. Sometimes I forget.
I love
it. He's not a contractor you don't want to pay, man.
Yeah.
That's the biggest complaint you hear from contractors. It's owners, investors, they don't pay. So
yeah.
I
say, please don't pay me. I would love to pay you. He said, no, we're gonna pay. I said, no, just try, don't pay me, please.
Maybe you can provide a service to the rest of the group. We'll get you out.
In fact, I never had any fight in my life in the streets. I'm a very law-abiding person. One time, me and my ex-girlfriend, we went to bar, and some people start bothering us. Everybody thought, I am the fighter, I'm going to beat them up. I was the person who went to call the cop. I say, this guy's bothering me.
Oh, man.
It's easier. Hey, Attila, I got to ask you a question. I like to ask people this. Can you walk us through your first deal that you ever did? What did it look like? What did you learn from it?
Yeah, sure. My first deal, the guy, my mentor, he used to buy the house from auction. And then he say, hey, how much? He called me, how much money you have? I say, I have this much money. I say, okay, I will loan you like a whole lending, and you put this much, and then you finish this house. I was so scared, you know.
Yeah.
And then, so I get the deal, and then he organized some team for me to start the build. I don't have my crew. I remember he freaked me out. It was 5 a.m. He called me and he acted like my crew. He said, hello, I am on the floor, I'm dying. I was so freaked out. And I thought my crew dropping the floor first day, and then they dying. And then I was running so that I went to him and his wife waiting there and laughing to me, say, welcome to difficulty. Now you have to wake up a little bit more early. But that was amazing day. Yeah. So God thanks. In my first deal, I made the money.
Good.
And then I never lost any of my project. Never.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Sometimes in the development game, like I've seen so many people lose money. Like I remember I was working with one company. They made about $5 million wholesaling in 1 year. But the next year, they lost the entire amount on one development deal. You know, like the entire previous year, all lost in one development deal. So oftentimes I feel like it's like with you with the UFC. You know, you got the people out there coming back from the ring. One's got a broken arm. The next one's happy. The next one's got a broken leg, and it's like, okay,
Yes.
what's going to be my luck on this one? So it's interesting. There's like that parallel there. You know, you never know, but to never lose money in deals. That's incredibly impressive. That's really hard to do.
Yeah, you have to know what step you're taking. Like when we are fighting, we are splitting our energy. We don't spend all energy in the first minutes. Like we have to fight 25 minutes. We have to split our energy for 25 minutes. Same things in developing. You have to know how much you can spend and don't go too far.
Yeah.
Go you can control. So I keep myself in my 2 line. I don't extend too big, or I don't stay too behind. So like a distant control your limit.
Yeah. Good tips for everyone. That's great.
Attila, where do you get most of your deals? Is it
normally? Yes, networking. Sometimes my neighbors, when I go to buy, mostly I buy from homeowners. Honestly, most of my deal and amazing deal. When I go to neighborhood, I put my sign, and always I am so nice to neighborhood. I try to keep and clean, say hi to everyone, introduce myself, say we are Maple Development. We're going to start working here. Please let me know. This is my cell phone. Any problem, any noise, anything, just call me anytime. And I start to build a good relationship right away. If I see some older lady walking, I try to help her cross the road. I make sure my project job site very clean, everybody respectful. And based on that, we build a good relationship. And mostly, any neighborhood I go, I stay there for at least 2 years. I build 4 or 5 houses. Like 4th Street. This is my 5th house I'm building that street. So I'm staying there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Persian hospitality. That's the secret.
We are polite. We are very polite. Yeah.
Wow.
It's good.
So you're direct to the owner in most cases. You're not doing direct mail or any of that sort of paid marketing.
I did direct mail, and then sometimes people complain, and I don't like to do anymore. I like to buy from naturally, meet the people, buy from them. And then sometimes people, they see my sign, they call me, hey, you want to buy a house? I say, sure. I go check. I say, I'll buy this much. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah. Do you ever, I'm curious, do you ever pick up any deals off of any of the major wholesalers like Express, Market Pro, House Buyers of America, any of those guys? Do you ever pick up deals from them?
No, I pick up from the friends, some of my developer friends. If they have a deal, if they have a more extra deal, they call me, say, I have a good deal. You want it? I say, sure. I get the deal from friends. I try to stay away from some of those stuff because sometimes I don't understand the regulation from the court and then foreclosure. I don't know the second deed and stuff. I make it my job simple as much I could.
Yeah.
More clean.
Well, we check out investorlift.com. We got a lot of deals on there. It's kind of we're trying to do something similar to like what you're doing with your network, where people bring you deals, except we're putting them all on the website. So everyone, when they find a deal, they post it on one website, and then people can subscribe and check out deals, see who's got deals, see who wants to make offers, things like that.
Myself, I'm going to bring you more deals. I have manufactured 5, 6 deals. The homeowner, they want to sell it to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, say I don't buy now. They say, okay, when you buy, and we're going to wait, we're going to sell it to you. In fact, they are my neighbor. I'm building housing, one of my projects. The owner keep asking me. He's such a nice person.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, so they're begging you to buy it now.
If you ask me too much, I say I will introduce to my friend. There you go. That's one deal from me.
There you go. Let's do it.
Attila, what kind of deals do you generally look for? What kind of deals, if the community here could help you out tonight, what kind of deal would you ideally want? What's your picture perfect one?
I like to, I'm looking for a deal in Arlington, Virginia area. I like the single family. I like the MU4, residential mixed use. Any deal. I have some of the clients, they still looking, they like my product. The house they used to put the offer, they couldn't get it. Some other people, they say, in your next house, if it comes soon, could you let us know? Always, I'm open for a deal. And I have so many investors, they need it. So sure, I am. If you
so you're looking in Arlington and DC as well?
Yes, DC, Arlington too. I like Arlington and DC.
I might have one for you in Arlington. Which part are you looking for in Arlington? Anywhere?
Anywhere.
How about right near the Boston Mall, like 4 blocks?
That's amazing. I love that area. That would be good.
I'm gonna hit you up offline and we'll connect.
Sure.
It's a family house.
So I got a Georgetown deal I'm going to send your way. Take a look at it.
I have a project in Georgetown too. I'm going to share with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good project. Amazing modern home. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, let's see it. Well, you got to do a video walkthrough after you're done.
Yeah, sure.
Love to see it. Awesome.
Attila, if folks have a deal for you or they want to reach out, what's the best way to get in touch?
My cell phone, my email address, I will share with you guys.
Okay.
I believe you guys have it. Yes.
Yeah, we can post it up. What's the email? Let's spell it out.
Yeah, KSHALORUSMMA@gmail.com. Shalorus MMA@gmail.com.
Shalorus MMA@gmail.com.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll post it up so everyone can see it.
Awesome. Thank you, boys.
Attila, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight. My last comment is we got folks of all ranges in the group. I don't know if you've been a part of DMV Dealmakers or not, but we have folks who are out there just starting out, some folks who have been in it for a few years, some folks who are crushing it like yourself. What would your advice be to, the folks in the group who are sort of, they might be struggling right now? What's the 1 or 2 tips of advice you could give them tonight?
My advice is if you are a developer or contractor, try to do best, try to do right everything. Never cut the corner and do the right. If you do the right thing is going to come to you because, and that's the only, build good reputation, and that's the most important, is the best credit, and build the trust with your team, and pay them on time, pay them right, build the trust. That's the 2 keys, very important.
100%. 100%.
Great feedback.
Guys, we've been live with Attila Shalorus. I've learned so many gold nuggets tonight. Everything you've said, man, your thought process is spot on. You've obviously read a lot about real estate. Man, closing thoughts, John.
It's always great to be around someone who just has that mindset that constantly learning, right? Constantly learning and learning how to do things properly. Because it really rubs off on you. It rubs off on people, because, it's so often you're out in the world, like quote unquote, in the wild, and, just everyone's just kind of ticky tacky, they're just trying to get by. Whereas you're just you have a goal, you want to take the proper steps to get to where the top person is, and you're taking the proper steps and not burning any bridges and building the proper relationships along the way. That's a proper business. That's a proper way to live your life. And I just absolutely love it.
Exactly.
So Attila, final thoughts with you. where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? Where will we see you?
Well, from 10 years from now, I do much better for community and environment. I want to become more better person as much I could. I do better for my community. Try to help. Try to be good mentor for some of the kids. They don't have that family to support them go to good school or money. But I want to say is everything is possible. What I did as an athlete, what I did as a business. I mean, keep moving. Don't let nobody tell you you cannot. Is everything's possible just with the good mind and good body. Stay healthy, body and mind healthy.
100%. 100%.
Awesome. Attila, thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome.
Thank you having me, guys. I really enjoyed talking to you guys.
We're gonna catch up with you soon.
I would love to. We should have a catch up.
John, I'm gonna check out the MMA gym, man. I'm out of shape right now.
Yeah, let me know when you're going. I'll walk over there.
Yeah, that would be amazing. You guys will be my guest. You are always welcome.
Let's do it, man. Appreciate it.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Adios.
Who